you know, a lot of product development and innovation happens here, Silicon Valley, Asia, US, Europe. India is not yet culturally prepared. You have to have, that cultural background of creating this tech background of people who are producing something in India. Many of these tech entrepreneurs have actually come from other places and set up offices or base in India based on their ideas which they generated before, and now they've hired the team to develop this in India. So it needs a lot more time to come up with some, Apple or any of these kind of ideas, and we are working towards it. Let's say we've started making some inroads towards that area. We have now started, creating some network ecosystem of entrepreneurship in tech area in India. So I guess, yeah, we will see this business coming forward in the next, few years.
Sure. I mean, just real quick, I'll come back. Bilal, what do you think? Why do you think it's not happening?
So, and I don't at all mean this in a controversial way in any way, but I think there's, I've spent time in Pakistan as well, and I think that country shares some of the same phenomena. Most of the big businesses in these two countries tend to be family-owned businesses, right? Family-owned businesses, almost like when you take over that business, in some cases you grow it like you did from 1 million to now billions. But in many cases you inherit a business, you grow it slowly and surely. But you're putting the entire family's almost like, their name at stake, right? So there's a very high barrier to, taking risks where you might fail outright. It's not just you going down, it's your uncle, aunt, and everybody who works in that business, they all go down. My family owns a big newspaper, and it's been owning that for 50 years, and I understand that. Because you don't take risks because the risk of failure means a huge black eye. That is something that needs to change in a typical Indian entrepreneur. We need to move away from doing solar in India because solar seems to be working in the US, let's go do it in India. Right? Now, I'm guilty of that, because I did that. Solar was happening here. I made my first solar investments here and then went to India, or Zynga for India, or Groupon for India, or whatever for India. Right. You gotta find independent ways, independent things. You don't, and you will fail. Inevitably, you will fail. Look at all the top entrepreneurs you and I admire today. They all failed many times over. Now, the difference between Silicon Valley and I would say even the rest of the US is the fact that when you're a failure there, people sit and talk about failure as though it's something they're proud of. It's something like, yeah, I did that and I failed, and I crashed on this guy's couch, and then I started this business and that failed too, and then I started something else and then it took off. Indians, and especially Indians that are well educated, that are at places like MIT, that you can always take that degree and always find a job, take a risk.